Let's talk about outsourcing and what I outsource in my photography business. Now, I'm a big fan of outsourcing. The actual job I had before I became a photographer was a project manager dealing with an outsourcing company. There are great benefits to outsourcing, but some of it is really frowned upon in the sort of amateur to beginning in pro level photography. And once you get past that, you're going to free up so much time, save so much money, and create such better work. So before I go into this, I want to make it very clear. None of us make our cameras. None of us, well, maybe some of us, most of us don't make our lights. We already outsource a great deal of photography, so the next steps along are not that big. And I'm going to talk about the real elephant in the room up front, and that is that I don't edit my own images. I do not do my own retouching. I have a few professional retouchers who work on a freelance basis for me. They do all of my retouching. A lot of people think it's cheating. It's not. If you were a good photographer back in the day, you didn't print your own work unless you were a fine art photographer. But if you're a commercial one, you shot the negative went to the lab produced it, and then the person who specialized in printing it printed it. If you're shooting small campaigns, yes, maybe you did it all yourself, but if you want to get to a high level, you'd hire in the right staff and you get that understanding when you say, I want the density to be like this and this part here, but here we need to pull it back a little bit. I want a slight magenta shift in the sky. And they'd be able to do all of that for you while you carried on shooting. Much like some people have professional lighting crews come in to light the shot for them. On a shoot, I would have a digital tech, a couple of assistants, maybe an assistant who specializes in lighting, just so between the two of us, when I'm saying, look, I need this, this, and this, they can go and do it without me having to micromanage it. We'd have a food stylist, a home economist, a prop stylist, a background stylist. It's a full team effort to make a big shot. We don't just turn up with a camera and hope to do the whole thing ourselves. And I think when you're starting out, because you are sourcing the food or whatever it may be, say you're a food photographer like myself, you're getting the food, you're cooking the food, you're photographing the food, you're editing the food, and you're publishing it. That's how you start out. But as you move along in your career, you'll realize that to do everything, you'd have to charge such an extortionate rate to make it worth your time, to get it to such a high level that no one's going to pay it. So you have to find professionals who are efficient, still costly, but efficient, who can do that work for you. And retouching for me is it's a no-brainer. I don't really know any commercial photographers who retouch their own work, or at least not exclusively retouch their own work. Now, the one thing which does differ for me is I'm very particular about color grading. I do color grade my own work because I find that by the time I've explained to somebody what I want, I could have done it myself. And that, for me, is just not an efficiency. If it's perhaps e-commerce or some very generic stuff, yes, maybe I'll send it out for the whole lot. But I generally color grade and then hand it over for retouching. Okay, the next thing is driving. I will not drive to a job, ever. I won't even drive to the studio on a big shoot day. I'll get an Uber because I don't need other people's road rage, traffic jams, whatever it may be on the way to a job, stressing me out. I need to turn up fresh as a daisy. We charge a lot of money for our service. They don't want me turning up feeling slightly jaded because I've had to deal with somebody else's road rage or somebody else's reckless driving or a diversion that's going to make me late or stressed or whatever it could be. I don't need that before my shoot. So I always pay someone to drive me. Now, the next thing is sort of a bit like retouching, but it's tech. I don't do my computers. I don't do my website, my email. I don't do my camera gear. I don't choose any of this stuff. I let other people who know what they're doing choose it for me. Whether it's a friend offering me the advice or whether I'm paying a consultant to sort it out, or it's the Kev down at the Flash Center and me asking him, like, what do I need to do this job? And he'll be like, well, to do that, you need the following bits of kit. If I spent the time researching it on the internet, which camera I need, which lens I need, which light I need, I wouldn't have the time to get good at photography. And these are two very different things. Knowing about cameras and lenses is not the same as knowing about photography. Creating the image, creating the art form, that's a very different skill set to going, if I use this lens, the micro contrast is just a little bit so. Like, I don't care. I want someone to tell me what to do and I'm not interested in it. And I shouldn't be interested in it. It's not my job to know about which light has better color accuracy, which modifier is going to give me this look that I'm looking for, which camera is going to give me the bit depth of colors that I need. What I am responsible for is getting the right people to give me the right information to produce that image. That's my responsibility. And I feel that I've done that with the people I've sort of surrounded myself with, the people that I buy from, the people that I purchase from, the people I hire to do these things. And that for me is just a no-brainer. The last thing that I outsource is cleaning. I used to clean the studio myself, and there's a couple of things to this. One is I'm awful at cleaning. So even if I spent all day cleaning it, it would still be badly done. And the second is I don't have time to clean it because by the time I've done a 12-hour day on set, I don't want to clean the studio. I need to do my backup. I need to go home. I need to have a beer. It's exhausting. I just need to switch off and do other stuff. In the time that the cleaning company that I use takes to clean the entire studio, I'd have just about managed to hoover it. I don't know how they're so fast. I don't know how they're so efficient and so good, but it's one of those things that, it makes a big difference to me. Rather than spending 8 hours doing a bad job, someone spends 2 hours and does an amazing job. And it makes me feel good when I come in the next day and it smells of fresh bleach. I love the smell of bleach. I love the smell of bleach in the morning. Anyway, it makes my life better. So these are things I outsource. What do you outsource either in your life, your professional work? Let me know in the comments, because I'm always up for outsourcing more of my stuff that just I'm not good at or I don't enjoy doing. I think it's a great way to live. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.